Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure and an honor to be here with you today. I'm Officer Carlos Cortes. I've been a police officer for about 8 years, but before I was a police officer, I was Blanca Kling's intern at the Public Information Office of the Montgomery County Police Department, the same Public Information Office where I currently work as a spokesperson for the police department. As an intern, I witnessed her passion and dedication that she had for our community. I did that. She would start her day early in the morning doing radio interviews, and she would finish her day helping victims of crime. So I always wonder, how is she able to complete all these tasks? Where is she getting this energy from? But I quickly realized that she didn't push herself into completing this task. She was pulled into completing this task because her work was her passion. And her passion gave her sustainable energy to complete the task and to achieve the goals that she had in mind for our community. If I could describe her in one sentence, I would say she was a force of nature. Blanca Kling, Blanquita, as she was often referred to many in our community, served Montgomery County residents for over 40 years before her passing in January 2021. Blanca filled many roles throughout her career with the police department, including being a victims' rights advocate, a Hispanic liaison, and a spokesperson. A native of Bolivia, Blanca was the first person in her family to migrate to the United States when she was 17 years old. She graduated from Bethesda Chevy Chase High School and continued her studies at Montgomery College. Blanca's life of public service with the police department began in 1980 when she became a police service aide and then a victim specialist at the police department 4th District located in Wheaton. This was a time when more Spanish speakers were moving to Montgomery County, and Blanca's ability to speak and connect with the community was invaluable. Blanca continued her work helping residents as a member of the department's Community Engagement Division. In 2005, Blanca transitioned to working in the Public Information Division in a newly created Hispanic Liaison spokesperson position. As a Hispanic Liaison in the Public Information Division, Blanca wore many hats. She graciously hosted town hall meetings, assisted investigators at crime scenes by speaking with victims and witnesses, contributed to crime prevention efforts, was part of the street safety campaigns, and helped launch anti-gang programs at school. We would always be thankful for what she did for our community, and I would always be thankful for what she did for me. She had a lot of influence in my career path.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Innocenti, and I had the honor of working with Blanca Kling for approximately 11 years in the Public Information Division. She was not only my coworker, but she was a dear friend to me. Blanca strengthened communication, understanding, and trust between the police department and Hispanic community members. She spoke about police matters on Spanish language television and radio shows. If you went anywhere with Blanca, you soon realized how well known she was in the Hispanic community, as people would stop to talk to her after recognizing her from hearing her on the radio or seeing her on television. It was clear, when Blanca spoke, people listened. I would like to tell you just one story that illustrates the power of Blanca's voice. During a call for service, officers responded to an apartment complex where there was a gas leak. Fire and rescue personnel requested police assistance in evacuating residents to safety. During the evacuation process, one resident, who was believed to be experiencing a mental health crisis, refused to exit his apartment. The residents, most of them Spanish-speaking only, were scared and confused and were worried about what was occurring. Blanca, who had responded to the apartment complex to assist with translation, retrieved a megaphone that was being used by a police captain to try and communicate with a distressed resident. Blanca, who was petite, used that megaphone to talk to the group of residents and bystanders that were gathering in the apartment complex. Blanca very calmly informed the community members about what was happening and allayed their fears. A sense of calm overtook the crowd. That was Blanca, small but mighty. Blanca embraced every single position she held with selfless compassion. When Blanca was faced with a difficult or challenging problem, she always found a way to move mountains for those less fortunate or in despair. Her deep faith always guided her along the way. Blanca blessed all of our cubicles before we moved to the new headquarters on Edison Park Drive. Blanca would always tell me, Rebequita, as she would call me, I have one boss, and he's up there. And how did I argue with that? Even when Blanca was not officially at work, she was still working. She always was helping someone, whether it was driving someone to a doctor's appointment or organizing a holiday toy drive for those less fortunate. Throughout her career, Blanca received numerous awards of recognition for her tireless work. Blanca was a dedicated employee, but it is important to celebrate that she was a devoted wife, mother, grandmother, mentor, and friend. The number of people Blanca helped during her lifetime and the impact she had on this county and the world is immeasurable. There was no one more deserving of this award than Blanca Kling. Thank you.
My mom, Blanca Prudencio Kling, or Blanquita, as she was lovingly known by so many, arrived in the United States from La Paz, Bolivia in 1969 when she was just 17 years old. Her first job in the county was as an aide and interpreter for the police in the 80s. Still identifying as an immigrant, she was adapting to a new country, a new language, culture, which in so many ways was different from Bolivia. Here, she experienced discrimination firsthand and decided she had to work hard to advance herself in the lucha for those in the county facing similar obstacles. In the 2000s, she worked as a crime victim assistance coordinator in the 4th District. Here, she worked as an advocate for victims of homicide, assault, and other violent crimes. This humble but important work was most evident throughout the 2002 sniper attacks. She would go on to be named Latino Liaison for the Chief of Police in the Media Services Division. In this newly created position, she went from direct service for her clients to appearing on Univision or Telemundo to give important press releases or host regular programming on Radio America or Montgomery County Cable, because she knew that she had to share this important information to the Spanish-speaking community on things like pedestrian safety, how to cooperate with law enforcement, and other important topics. She had to adjust to become a figurehead to the community on a public level in order to reach as many people as possible for the good of the community. She helped create a Latino liaison committee where law enforcement would meet monthly with community leaders throughout the county. A petite but unstoppable force, charismatic, fearless. Her body struggled to keep up with her mind and her heart and her spirit. She was sheer will and determination when she was focused on something, when she knew something needed to be done and there was a need that needed to be met. And she was the personification of Christ-like love. Her love of Jesus, her faith, this guided her. This was her compass. She was inspired by her culture and her country. She was proudly Bolivian. Everything about that country gave her life, gave her joy, taught her the meaning of living life amidst struggle, but making the most out of each moment, loving others. She dedicated her life to it, serving the community, undocumented families who deserved support, protection, and opportunity. She wanted to make sure that they weren't taken advantage of or treated as second class, but to have a voice, to have a role, to have dignity and belonging in the county. She knew that so many families had given so much to the county, and she wanted to make sure the county would give that back. She's an undeniable example of the power of love and service. Day to day for over 34 years, from the first day she worked as an interpreter to her last day working alongside the chief of police. She did what she loved, and she loved everyone. And with all of her being, she lived to serve others. She brokered healing and trust between the Latino community and the police over decades. She made strong ties with the Latino media and helped pioneer a new and much needed position that has given Latino residents of Montgomery County an important connection to the police and to their county. She was fearless, she was persuasive, and she spoke up to positions of power with respect and grace, but she was unapologetic about what she knew was the right thing that needed to be done. She is the pride of Bolivians and Latinos in the DMV. She was a celebrity, not just because she could be seen on TV, but because she genuinely touched and interacted with thousands, if not tens of thousands, of people and families in the county. And she lived doing what she was called to do, and she loved what she did. And she is without a doubt finally resting after having fulfilled God's call and her life's work. I am so proud of her legacy. I thank the county for recognizing her, and I believe we all need to continue to work together day in and day out to continue her legacy, to accomplish the goals that we know that she wants to continue to be accomplished. My mom has taught me that family and the call to love family and friends, the fight to serve others, they're not separate tasks, but in fact, one simple call to connectedness and repairing the incongruency in our world to welcome all, to make no one in our society feel less than or an outsider, but instead more like an extended family. My mom would be so proud to be here today. She's here with us now because she has showed us that love is not a feeling, but it's a verb. And because her legacy lives on and continues when we are all connected and working in lockstep every day to realize her vision for a more just Montgomery County and a world, while we're still here on earth, we can continue to honor our mother. Thank you all so much. Love you.